What's up?
Hey, everybody.
Hello, hello. It is the first Thursday of March. So, brand new topic tonight. We're going to be going into that here in just a second. Letting everybody know that March is going to be a busy month. If you guys were a part of the 304 that we did on the 1st, thank you very much. It was very awesome of you guys to attend. And we will be hosting another one of those for those who were interested and couldn't make it. But that was with Mr. Chris Davis, Sigil Seals and Wards, how to build them, proper application. So that was an awesome go. Um, Also, speaking of classes, on the 26th of April, we're going to be hosting the paranormal investigation class. It's going to be at the Ross Opera House in Cynthiana, Kentucky. And you can go ahead and register on the special events tab at spiritmechanix.com, or the digital flyer that's floating around has the link directly to it that is embedded in the post. So you guys have plenty of time, you got plenty of opportunity. It is both your admission to the Ross Opera House as well as your class fee. That is the whole overarching payment that you're going to make. It's going to be $60, and we're looking forward to seeing a bunch of people out there. Now, here's the cool part. If you have taken our paranormal investigation class before with Dustin and Ray, you now have the ability to cut lines, so to speak. So, if we have a location that you would like to go and investigate with us, and the boys are in agreement, all you have to do is pay your way in. You don't have to take the class a second time. And if you refer people, we might be able to work something out. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Woo.
But just letting you guys know what the deal is. The boys will be taking care of you at the end of next month. So be prepared for that. It's always a good time. You're going to learn about equipment. You're going to learn about how to properly treat the spirits and entities in a location, how to treat the location, and safety do's and don'ts, the whole bit. And then you guys are going to be set loose in a haunted ass location to do investigation shit. So it's always a fun time. Looking at next weekend, so the 15th and 16th of March, we're going to be at Light It Up Festival in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. That's going to be an awesome event. It's a Mama Ruby's event, and it is the first one of its kind. So this is a special inaugural kind of deal. So it is the first go of this one. Please come out and support it. There's going to be a lot of awesome people, a lot of awesome events. There's going to be music, things to do, and plenty of people to get readings from and stuff to purchase. So it's going to be a pretty good show. Plenty of seminars, different things like that are free. I think there are some during con hours events and some after, but I'm not positive. I do know that there's a big one, including the Connor sisters, Rose Campbell, Bev herself, I think Miss Joni Kahn. I hope I'm not missing anybody. I believe I am, and I feel like an asshole for it.
I think Holly's joining them.
Okay. Holly McCullough, possibly.
I think.
Don't quote me on that. But it's a big channeling panel, essentially, that they're going to be doing on Sunday, I believe. So that's going to be a pretty awesome thing. We've been sharing it out respectively on our own personal pages as well as here on the Spirit Mechanics Facebook page. So check it out if you get the opportunity. And if you are in the Elizabethtown area, or you just want to go and check out some awesome fucking people with an awesome fucking shop, go check out Akashic Awareness in Elizabethtown, and you might get a free ticket for the show. So stopping in at Akashic Awareness, hanging out with them, giving them a little bit of patronage, or even just some good conversation, and you might actually get a free ticket in, as long as there's still supply for it. So vouchers and such. But that is Akashic Awareness. That is in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. That is Mark and Shelley James. That's their store. They're awesome people. They'll take care of you. Now, looking at the 29th and 30th, we're going to be in Cincinnati at Eastgate, there at the Holiday Inn, for the first Sacred Journey of the year. This is going to be the Light Festival. So there is going to be a lot more towards the upbeat, more towards the lighter end of things, more towards working with the light as far as a light worker, as far as the more upbeat, the more positive, the more everything is awesome in its own way, kind of stuff. And we're actually doing a seminar. We're going to be doing one on attachments, understanding them, both good and bad attachments. There's been a lot of you guys that have been asking us to explain uh, the possibility of a quote unquote good attachment or a good possession. To me, there's no such thing, but there are instances that are beneficial. So we're going to be going over some of those things in this seminar, hopefully to educate you guys. And if you do already know about it, hopefully you'll get a different perspective. So we're looking forward to that. And fuck, I think that's enough. I think that's it.
Actually, you did a great job.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
All right. Also, one last thing. The forecast will be up. It'll be up probably around lunchtime tomorrow, letting you guys know. Uh, and we have a little bit to talk about during this forecast. Something heinous this way comes.
Called Venus.
Called Venus. I am not a Venus retrograde dude, but we'll be discussing Venus, its influences. Also,
Penis is a penis.
yeah, Jesus. Also, Mercury is coming up on the horizon. It's going to hit before the end of March. So we're going to be in the middle of Venus with Mercury hitting. So for those of you that already have issues with communicating with people that you care about, guess the fuck what?
Yay.
But up. So we're going to be talking about that kind of thing this week, what you can expect as far as energy shifts and the day to day. That's coming up also next month. All of your topics are going to be run by our paranormal team. So Ray and Dustin are going to be covering the three main weeks
Yeah.
of April. We're still going to be doing Tarot Night Live. That's not going to change. The boys are just taking over to do the paranormal gig because there is the paranormal gig at the end of April. So they're going to be talking to you guys about how paranormal works, where it comes from, different instances, all kinds of cool shit. So be prepared for that. And they'll have the schedule out as soon as they get the schedule.
Yeah, we got some cool shit planned, so it's gonna be fun.
And Raymond has put in the chat the Mama Ruby's event for Light It Up, Sacred Journey, along with the paranormal class link. So if y'all are looking for them, they are in the comments. And fully agree, both Mike and Keith. Mike said words are hard. And then Keith said practice the pause big time. Definitely, especially coming up. But Steve will dive a lot further in depth on that tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be some heavy stuff, but not really. It's a lot of things are common sense. It's just a lot of people, including myself, are going to want to think emotionally first before they think logically. And you can't really do that during Venus. It causes explosions. So we're going to get into that a little bit tomorrow. But topic. So the topic this week is all about clairs. And everybody is, everybody wants to understand their clairs. Everybody wants to know what clairs are. Everybody, would like to presume what it is that other people's clairs are or the ones they have, but they don't have the right information. So we're going to start this week with actually explaining what the main clairs are. Now, notice what I put there.
Main.
You can literally talk for fucking hours about what clairs could be subclassed from the main ones. Technically, empathy is its own clair. For those who want to bring that into the mix, technically, empathy is its own clair. I can go into subclasses of clairs later on, possibly in a class if you would prefer. But we're not going to directly discuss empathy tonight. We do that enough. But we are going to talk about the clair that it comes off of, what it's a part of. So, what are clairs? Clairs are literally your metaphysical senses. These are not sixth senses. These are what would be considered second senses. A sixth sense is actually what we're going to be talking about here in a minute. It is actually one of the main clairs. But for the sake of argument, what these are they are spiritual senses that mirror your physical ones. Now that is on the spiritual end of it. That is on the metaphysical end of it. When you're talking about the clairs, it doesn't just mean metaphysics. It actually comes down to what is above and beyond the normal understanding, comprehension, or perception of a physical sense. So, someone that is able to hear a dog whistle is technically clairaudient. Someone who has quote unquote eagle vision and can see better than anybody else in the world is technically clairvoyant. So, the biggest understanding that you need to have is that these are ESP, extrasensory perception. They are also literally a form of the body trying its best to overcome an obstacle that it presents itself. So, just to give an example, I'm a clairaudient. I hear the stuff. We're going to get into actual definition here in a moment. But I'm a clairaudient. I hear the stuff, right? The things that go bump in the night, the things that scream at me during the day, and everybody's relative that decides that they would rather talk to me than their loved one. All jokes aside, I'm also visually impaired. So I get through life through my hearing more than anything else. My clairaudience is bridging that gap. I am able to hear a cash register alarm in the back of a department store that is going off in the front of it that the cashier can't fucking hear, and I have to let them know.
It happened the other day.
But I can also hear the people talk around me, or the entities moving, or the spiritual energy, or the notes that people give off as well. Clairaudience is both. I have an above average, a quote unquote supernatural ability to hear. And because I have that, my metaphysical sense of hearing picks up as well. So I hear the stuff to be able to see the stuff, and I see the stuff to be able to touch the stuff. We're going to get into the whole process of how you work a little bit later on in the month. But we're going to start breaking these down. So the first one, I believe on my list there, is clairaudience. So the next thing to remember, what does clair mean? In this particular sense, clair means clear, as in transparent, as in crystal. clear, and then the secondary word, clear sight, clear touch, clear smell. Basically unimpeded. There is nothing to get in the way of your particular sense doing above and beyond what it should. That's what your clairs actually mean. There's no partition. There's no limit. There's not a fucking thing that says that it has to stop here. It perceives more than what is naturally capable. So, clairaudience, give us the definition.
Clairaudience means clear hearing of divinationary information. Those who have clairaudience are often mediums or channelers and can perceive sounds, words, and noises that other people cannot. It's believed that these sounds come from the spiritual realm and are a mental tone perceived not through the physical ear, but in the mind. Clairaudience may hear this otherworldly broadcast from past, present, or future.
A clairaudient is a radio receiver. Literally. You are a radio receiver. It's here. A lot of telepaths are clairaudients because they hear the surface thoughts. A lot of, as was mentioned, mediums and channelers are clairaudients because, well, you're a fucking microphone. You're a radio receiver. I'm going to speak into this end of the CB, and you're going to pick it up on your fucking radio. That's how it works. Clairaudience is actually really cool in that everything, as was mentioned, everything from clear voices to tones to different kinds of movement to all kinds of different accents and nuances. It's really neat. It's also the reason why I tell people that, one, you can't lie to a psychic, and two, you definitely can't lie to a blind man, so don't try either. I can hear when you're bullshit. It's a really neat and dangerous fucking technique. And most clairaudients can hear that. It's not like, oh, well, I can hear your heart beating. Sometimes, if I'm close enough. But it's more of, I hear you exactly the shift in your energy, the tone it makes. I can hear the way that your thoughts are starting to shift and where you're trying to lead me. It's not a good idea. Whether I call you out in public or not, it does not mean that I do not know. The other cool thing is being able to talk to animals. You can actually talk to animals 100% because they're able to speak here. You're able to hear them as a result. As their brain wave gets transferred to you, it's just light, right? And as your brain interprets that light, the brain goes, oh, well, this could be a sound. That's how clairaudience works, by the way.
It's cool as shit, y'all.
It's neat. So clairaudience, a lot of people have some variant of it. Like I said, there's subclasses and subsects of all of these clairs. The ones we're going over are the main, the big ones, right? The ones you hear everybody talk about and then they can't explain how their shit works. I'm making sure you guys are educated enough so that when you do say, I'm pretty sure I have this clair, you know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. So the next one on the list, I believe, was clairgustance.
Yes, it is.
Clairgustance is neat.
Yeah.
So, clairgustance.
You want the definition first?
Yep.
It's the ability that refers to clear tasting. So just as a reminder, I'll probably say this for the next couple of them. In this reference, clair means clear. So clear tasting. In the absence of anything that would send flavor signals to the person, there is no food or drink in their mouth. A person with Say it again for me.
Gustance.
Thank you. Can perceive the essence of something from the spiritual realm through taste.
You taste energy.
Yeah.
Literally. It has a flavor. There's not anything there. And what's really cool is someone that has clairgustance has the ability, even if they've just slammed a bunch of water, the whole bit, there is a clean palate. If someone comes around and hands them something, they can take a bite of it. They can literally taste it. It has you can't necessarily smell it. We're getting there. You can't necessarily smell it sometimes, but it's a taste. Just coming in contact with it leaves a taste in your mouth. Sometimes that's a good thing. Well, this person tastes like orange juice, or this person tastes like, cotton candy, or this person tastes like,
Shitty sparklers.
right. It tastes like, they stuck shitty fucking sparklers in their mouth.
Jazz hands.
With some jazz hands. But inside joke on that one, y'all. But the big thing here is that they're not prompted. It's not something of, here, you should taste this. Or here, what does this taste like? They're not prompted. It is a knee-jerk response to what is happening around them. I've got a weird taste in my mouth. It just hit all of a sudden. I don't know why. But it happened after this motherfucker entered the room. Or, I don't know why it is, but the air always tastes so much sweeter when you're around. Things like that. If you've ever heard someone say stuff like that, especially talking about the taste of the air, 100% Claire Gustin. Very, very much so. And that one is actually kind of a rare one. You usually don't see people talk about clairgustance much. Metaphysical taste isn't something that a lot of people really, it's not that they don't take stock in, it's just something that people don't recognize. It's something that they don't really think about. Because most people are focused on other clairs that we're going to be getting into. But I thought that this one was actually pretty cool, that a lot of people should really know about, because I know a few of you watching, and definitely a couple of my students, and most assuredly, at least 2 of our actual mechanics are clairgustant. So I think that's really cool.
I think part of the other reason why people don't talk about it often is because if you walk up and you're like, hey, the air smells like and tastes like weird sour oranges that got kicked down the road today, people kind of look at you a little weird. What the fuck?
What the fuck do you mean?
Who starts a conversation like that?
I think that might be why that one doesn't get as much of a recognition.
Well, no one
Why do you taste like shit?
normal people don't lead with that. Like, that's something you work in later. That's not the handshake conversation, That's the coffee table book. Like give the motherfucker a drink first before you start leading into that shit.
Well, I want to know why it tastes like a weird shitty orange that got kicked down the road. For me, that's the top priority.
ADHD wish does ADHD things.
Jeez.
So that may be why that one doesn't go.
So, just like with clairaudience, though, there's also the physical side. So, clairaudience, we're hearing things that are outside the normal human spectrum of hearing. Same thing with clairgustance. You have the ability to taste, you perceive taste in different ways than most people could. A lot of things become more intense or more subdued And it's more than just the different quadrants of your tongue, the different placements of your taste buds. This is above and beyond. People that have the ability to distinctly tell you exactly which herbs were used, in what order they were placed in a particular souffle or quiche or a dish, actually pick them out. This was fresh, this was dry, and this is exactly the order that they were put in and how much. People that are able to do that are clairgustant. They're able to actually taste 100% of what was put into something. Just like energy, they are able to taste 100% of what's been put into their environment. It's also, once again, none of these things is prompted. If you have to be prompted in order to see, feel, hear, touch, taste, otherwise, then it's not your clair that's working. Keep that in mind. It's the reason why I slap people's hands and would rather slap them in the back of the head when they're like, hey, does anybody else blah, 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 blah? Keep it to yourself.
That's why I get in trouble for kicking things up the road. Why does it smell like an orange kicked up the road? No, I'm just kidding.
Mm.
But that actually is one of my favorite clairs. I think it's super cool just because it's kind of like what Mike said. I randomly taste weird shit all the time. Didn't know that clair taste was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to pay more attention to the next time it happens.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing to see it in action because you can literally, and I know a lot of people get really weird about it, but it's one that I refer to as snake tongue. Because a snake will flick its tongue to be able to taste the air and sense the vibration around them. That's how they actually know. So it's really fucking neat. For you Harry Potter fans, it's literal parcel tongue. It's 100%. Because you are metaphysically flicking the snake tongue out to understand what's going on around you. And are able to tell not so subtle and very subtle nuances. It's really neat. It's really fucking cool. All right, what's our next one?
Sentience.
So clairsentience is a neat one. This is one that a lot of people claim, and I got to give a little bit of a on. So clairsentience.
So just to be, there's a couple of different touching things, just letting y'all know before I start the definition. So this clair is specifically clair feeling. This is a psychic ability that is directly associated with clear feeling. Those who are clairsentient can feel messages with the whole body without actually feeling anything through the physical body. Unlike clairempathy, clairsentience involves a distinction with a physical sensation.
Physical mediums. Clairsentience is the ability to be a physical medium. It is not the ability to feel energy. Let me repeat that. It is not the ability to feel energy. For those of you that have been claiming clairsentience, you've probably had it wrong. Physical mediums are people that are very rare, that have the ability to experience the thing that is trying to be conveyed. So it's not just this person went through that. There isn't a discussion. There's nothing leading to it. There's no imagery. Someone may approach, they may see a spirit, but there's not a discussion there. The spirit may reach out and touch them, and that physical medium will go through what it is they went through, symptom by symptom, systematically, so that they will know. It's a very amazing gift, and it's a very taxing gift. And to throw that particular word around, well, I'm clairsentient. I can feel that the wind changed. That's not fair to them. That's not cool to do. Now, does that mean that I'm finger wagging people that just didn't know? Absolutely not.
No.
But I know that there are more than a few people out there who just throw that word around because they think it's cool. Y'all got to be careful with that. So, again, clairsentience is the ability to feel in a physical sense within yourself what it is that is trying to be conveyed. I died of a broken heart, and without that being said, there's a pain in the chest, and there's an overwhelming grief and depression, and the body gets weak. And it's not, they told me this. It's literally the physical medium going, this is what's happening to me. I'm pretty sure that they died of a broken heart. That's how it works. There is one that we're actually probably about to get into that deals with exactly what it is that you guys are wanting it to deal with. But clairsentience is literally physical mediumship. It's really neat. It's really cool. It's pretty fucking awesome to watch. There's a couple people that frequent the comment section, a couple of us mechanics, and definitely one of my students is, our physical mediums. One of the best ones to look at is Miss Amy Allen. Her methodology was based off of being a physical medium, among other things. But that's why she experienced things the way that she did, went through them the way she did. It's an experience for a physical medium. It's not a sensation.
So moving through the next set, clairtangency.
So this is what people were looking for.
So this is clear touching. It's also known as psychometry. So people with this power can actually hold or touch an object and receive messages through it. Phoebe Holloway from Charmed had this ability, clairtangency, through which she received most of her premonitions.
Clairtangency is the ability to perceive energy and receive messages through touch. I touch this object, or what a lot of people have heard us refer to as contact sensitivity. It's the same thing. This is the actual clair that's associated. I am touching this object, but it's not the object that I'm reading. It's the energy that is left in this physical object. A lot of clairtangents have the ability to actually find and work with anchor objects, cursed objects. They're able to find the spaces where entities are bound, if they're earthbound on properties, if they're tied to specific homes, if there are remains that are in a home, like ashes or different things like that, and someone's like, Uncle Jimmy's been dead for 9 years, but we're still seeing signs of him. The clairtangent has the ability to go, Uncle Jimmy's remains are still in the house, right? Well, how'd you know that? They have that ability. They also have the ability to perceive the flow of energy through touch. So it is a physical sensation, as opposed to what a physical medium goes through, which is a physical experience, as in the experience of that person, place, or thing. They relive it, whereas a clairtangent just feels it in the moment. It is a sensation alone. But most people are actually clairtangent. Most people have clairtangency. Um, Anybody that does Reiki, anybody that does any kind of physical alchemy, light work, even if you are somebody who is spiritually sensitive to the point where, you get tingles, you get heat, cold, you begin to have physical symptoms when you're around some heavier energy or rougher energy, things like that, that's clairtangency. You are getting a physical sensation to the energy, entities, apparitions, and objects around you.
So we do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same as touching a photo and picking up their energy?
Yes, clairtangency is exactly that. It's literally contact sensitivity. So someone coming across an heirloom. Well, I didn't really know much about, great great Gma, but I would really like to know about her. Can you help me out? This was her favorite coffee mug, or this was her favorite Afghan, or this was, her favorite shawl that she always wore, or, a ring that she always had on that great great G-Paw gave her. Whatever it was, someone who has clairtangency has the ability to pick that item up and spend time with it and actually feel, understand through the physical touch, understand that person to a minor degree. If it's a quickie, hey, let's see if I can connect. If the person has enough time to spend with an object, take breaks in between, make sure that their energy is kept up, like physical energy, so they're able to eat, they're able to take a walk, come back to it. You're going to wind up getting more and more and more and more information. And I've watched people with clairtangency or this contact sensitivity or being a contact psychic. I hate using the word psychic. It's like one of my biggest, nastiest fucking words on my list, and I say fuck like a sailor. But a lot of people will say contact psychic for that reason. What you are doing is you are getting a physical connection to that person by the energy they left behind on an object, which is cool as shit. It's really fucking neat. Next.
Next is clairsentience.
Not to be confused with sentience.
That.
Sentence as in scent with the nose, scent, SCENT, ENCE.
Mm-hmm.
Sentence. So clear smell. Go ahead.
That is actually something that's not to be confused with clairsentience. So just for, is that only twice or is that full 3 times?
This would be a third.
Okay, so these people can sense smells, food, or perfume when there's not a physical presence of that substance. So in the book version of Stephen King's The Shining, Dick Halloran smells oranges before something bad happens. So kind of like a bit of an omen. That's his mental thing where his nose picks up on what's about to happen.
So it's pretty cool. Similar to clairtangency, everybody pretty much possesses at least a slight variation of clairsentience as well. So, I'm all of a sudden I'm smelling cigar smoke and, nobody smokes in the house. Or I'm catching this random perfume. It kind of smells like my dead neighbor. Or, it's, you've got all kinds of these things that just pop out of nowhere. I smell these particular flowers. They were a favorite of insert relative or friend. I smell this person's cologne or spray or their laundry detergent or, They always had a particular scent about them. Or, hey, you know, I don't know why, but similar to Halloran, you know, I don't know why, but for some reason, I just smell oranges right before there's a terrible thing. Or I know something good is coming when I smell fresh cut apples or, you know, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah, sugar cookies can be a thing. Cinnamon rolls. I know a couple people in the group smell cinnamon rolls when good shit's coming. Um, but it's one of those things of, once again, I keep saying this on purpose because the key to learning is repetition. None of your clairs are prompted. There is not going to be a person, place, or thing that tells you you need to be using them for them to work. Please be careful of having people lead you into an experience or you leading yourself into an experience. That, oh shit, was that real? Those particular moments are what you need to pay attention to. Or, okay, this has happened too often for it to be fake. Those things are things that you need to pay attention to. Be very careful, guys, okay? So, clairsentience is similar to clairtangency. You are getting a scent, or clairgustance. So instead of a taste, you're getting a scent, or clairaudience. Instead of a sound, you're getting a scent. It works the same exact way. It's how your brain and how your energy interpret a situation. So notice how a lot of these are mirroring the five senses. It's because they fucking do. This one's kind of rare as well, at least to have it in full. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, like I said, everybody has a variant of most of these. That's just the way of it. Every human being has ESP. It's just whether or not you're aware of it and whether or not you want to use it. This one is rare because I have out of 30 years, I have run across motherfuckers that have clairsentience on one hand. 4 people. What this means is, before metaphysical sight, feeling, taste, hearing, before any of the others pick up, they smell something first. It is unprompted. And through that scent, they're able to actually locate whatever object or entity or person and are able to tell you exactly what's going on with them by the way they smell. As funny as that sounds, because yeah, you can throw BO jokes in there, you can throw shit jokes in there, whatever else, blah, blah, blah. It's actually a very serious thing because you can learn a lot about a situation by the way it smells. Anybody that is good at what they do, as far as being a metaphysician, will trust a clairsentience nose above any motherfucker that can see.
It's kind of like when dogs start learning the ability to actually sniff out cancer.
Yepper.
Clairsentience can allow you to do something very similar.
And I've watched it happen.
It smells like chemically burnt skin.
Anybody that's got actual clairsentience or has enough of it with them to where they know how to use it will catch the same sense too. That's what's really neat about it, is it all smells very similar. Now, certain things that are unique to that person obviously are going to smell different, because my interpretation of what is a good thing and Ray's interpretation of what is a good thing may pretty much be parallel most of the time, but on certain things, one may lean towards the other. So it's a situation of perspective when it comes to certain things. But when you're looking at the pinpoint things, pardon, i.e., it's a rough subject, but i.e., terminal illness, like what we were talking about, it will smell the fucking same to every clairsentient. Every one of them will smell the same scent. Know exactly which person, know exactly what's going on, and they don't have to talk to each other. Yeah, I caught it too. This one is a very unique skill, especially being able to use it to pinpoint accuracy. It's rare. Just because you can metaphysically smell things doesn't mean that you get the grasp of it. It just means that you're catching it in the air. That alone is an awesome gift. Being able to smell spiritual essence is insane. It's fucking great. But being able to locate where it's coming from, know exactly what's going on, where and why and how by a single sniff is fucking cool to watch. Some of these gifts are taken for major granted and are well overlooked because, you know, they're not the big ones. They're not the clairaudience. They're not, the clairsentience. They're not what we're about to get into here in a minute. Clairsentience and clairgustance are usually well fucking overlooked. Smell and taste aren't usually the first things that people look at when it comes to clairs. But you have to think about this, and we'll move on after this. What are the two best things that the most world renowned chefs have going for them? Their sense of smell and their sense of taste. Keep that in mind. So, for those of you that have those particular clairs, don't think for a moment that because you don't have one of the others or the others aren't strong with you, that you are any less gifted.
I have a question then.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody with clairgustance
You're right.
and somebody with a strong sense of clairsentience,
Mm-hmm.
you often find that those mirror each other like with shifts in the physical sense?
Yes. Because once again, just like with Claire sentience and audience and the whole bit so far, just because we're talking about this in a spiritual sense, it doesn't mean that there's not the physical ESP that goes with it. That's the reason why I'm talking about it in the sense that I am. Clairgustance, like I said, that person has the ability to pick out every fucking spice that was used, how much, when it was placed, how things were cooked, if there was a certain type of dairy that was placed in it, what meat was put in it. They can tell because their sense of taste goes well above and beyond what is understood. Same thing with clairsentience. They can pick out, spritz at the fucking scent counter in the mall. They used a lot of acetone in this one. This one's way too sweet. It'll break down too quick. This one, it says that it uses this scent, but it's actually a mixture of these. It's fake. You want to watch motherfuckers cry. I have actually watched a clairsentient walk up to the counter at a Dillard's. This is the scent I'm looking for. Well, why don't you try this one? Okay. And sit there and sniff. Okay, whatever. This is the scent I'm actually wanting. 3 in, and they go, fine. I'm going to buy the one that I asked you for, but before I do, I'm going to tell you why the rest of these are bullshit and you're bullshit for selling them.
Is it Dillard's?
in a Dillard's.
That's phenomenal.
I'll be right back. Next one is clairvoyance. If we're okay to move on, I can read it off real quick.
Yep.
So clairvoyance means clear seeing. This is often called the sixth sense and relies on the spiritual third eye. Clairvoyants must see images or may see images, colors, light, movement, pictures. Sometimes they know things they shouldn't. Rosalind Walker from Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is a good example of a clairvoyant.
So clairvoyance. This is the big one. This is the one everybody wants. This is.
It's Brian. I thought the front door was locked. That's why I was like, okay.
I have a key.
Oh, shit. Hi, guys. Okay, so.
Okay. Well, random guest appearance.
Clairvoyant.
We so good looking.
I thought I'd come in here with a chair, make it like I was doing a run-in.
So.
And John Ross, happy birthday.
Scared the shit out of me because all I heard was the doorbell go off. Okay, clairvoyance.
So.
Did y'all see that coming?
Not that kind of psychic, dude. Because I'm sitting here like, well, I'm in the middle of discussing this. I can't exactly get up to see if we're being robbed. So.
Yeah, so I was like, let me I will be right back.
So for those of you not in the know, we've got a door ringer on the shop door, which is locked, or it was.
It was.
Oh, okay. So it's locked, but it suddenly became unlocked, and for all we knew, there was a motherfucker being motherfuckerly in our shop. So it was like, oh, okay. And then it was Brian.
Yeah.
I figured Tyree saw it on the camera, and I waved at the camera.
Oh, he's not in town.
Oh,
That's why we were both like.
Yeah, he's in Ohio.
I figured he had access from his phone.
He might.
Oh, no wonder he hates life right now.
I'm sure there's more than one reason, but Ohio is a good enough one. So clairvoyance, getting back into this.
Have a good night, Keith. Thanks for popping on, man.
Thanks, Keith. Have a great night.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
So,
Have your
clairvoyance.
Yeah, definitely. So, clairvoyance, that word again. So the big thing with clairvoyance is, of course, it's metaphysical sight. It's the one that everybody wants to say that they have. It's the one that everybody would rather have, quote unquote. I don't really give a shit. You know, it has its perks, but it really doesn't. So the big thing with clairvoyance, a lot of people talk about seeing the future. That's not what clairvoyance is. Seeing the future is not clairvoyance. Seeing the future is claircognizance, or specifically precognizance.
We'll go over that in a minute.
But no, clairvoyance is the ability to perceive energy in a means that allows you to actually see it. Most people talk about it being able to see through your mind's eye, which is actually what it is. Those that have a stronger clairvoyance have the ability to see that with their eyes wide open. Does that necessarily mean that they are seeing everything tangibly? No. But what it is their brain is going, okay, it is there. And they're able to actually perceive what it is their mind is able to catch up with. So clairvoyance allows you to receive images. So telepaths have the ability to send images, different things like that. Different entities have the ability to show memories, especially if you're looking at echoes, different things like that. An echo is usually perceived by someone with clairvoyance because it is an imprint, it's not an actual entity. And the memory that plays out and that is shown is also given through clairvoyance. So it's that kind of a gift. It allows you to perceive energy in a way that is conducive to sight. So, similar to me, I hear it and I echolocate. In a spiritual sense, I hear it and I echolocate because I'm able to see the flow bounce off or not, depending on what entity it is. I can get a shape, I can get some detail, I can get an understanding. And that's kind of how this gift works. Now, there are some interesting nuances that can come into clairvoyance. A lot of them have to deal with the subsects of clairvoyance, such as, the whole precognizance thing. Technically, it falls under the banner of clairvoyance. Literally, it is a completely separate gift. So that's something to actually think about. Anything to add, sir?
Actually, I had sent you a thing I think it was a few weeks ago, that there are giving the scientific end of it, as far as the physical side. There are photoreceptors in your eye that actually can perceive magnetic fields. Your brain just doesn't know how to process it.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember what they're called, but it is within the blue light spectrum. But it's such a high frequency of blue light that it's almost ultraviolet.
Yeah. So through the naked eye, it's not able to be perceived, at least not usually.
Yeah, because the brain just can't process that kind of information because there's no visual thing to go with it. So perceiving physical energy, as far as like auras, entities, things of that nature, is within the realm of possibility if you've trained your brain enough to be able to recognize it.
Yep.
But seeing things in the mind's eye, as far as like getting a vision of something, a lot of mediums are within that realm of clairvoyant. They're seeing images of somebody's memories, somebody's past, loved ones, that kind of thing.
Yep.
But they, to me, there's strengths and weaknesses to each one of them.
Well, of course.
Clairvoyance, one of the weaknesses to me is images without context.
Yeah. Because it's literally your brain, as we've talked about with the others up to this point, your brain literally trying to make sense of what it's trying to perceive. So even if it's a metaphysical sense, your brain still has to calculate what the fuck that is. So at least up to this point, because these are the ones that are mirroring more towards the end of the actual senses, as opposed to what we're going to be getting into in a minute. But yeah, and I don't know if you've been listening in, but we have actually been talking to the people watching about the fact that just because they are a clair, it doesn't mean that they're 100% metaphysical gifts. They're supernatural gifts, meaning that these are things that are more ESP than they are actually a spiritual, oh my goodness.
Yeah, the extrasensory perception. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's more of an ESP. So it's bridging the gap between what is spiritual and physical, but you're able to see the benefits of it in a physical manner. So clairvoyants actually do have better vision than most people. They're also able to see things from multiple perspectives and not just process. Because usually when people are talking about seeing things from multiple perspectives, they're talking about wanting to take someone else's viewpoint in to calculate a different outcome or to see if they can calculate a different outcome.
Mhm.
Whereas this is literally being able to see it from different angles. Okay, so this car is coming up to this stop line, the stop sign. I'm coming up to the same one. And immediately while seeing this car, it's almost as if you can see all the way around this car.
So to go off that point, is it kind of like seeing in third person versus first person?
Yes. So you're able to actually see the car, and there's a part of your brain that goes, there's no brake lights. That person's not going to fucking stop. I can see it. You slow down and they blast through the stop sign. That's not intuition at that point. You literally saw that motherfucker was not going to stop.
Intuition is what gives the context.
Yipper.
Sorry.
Oh, we're going to be getting into that one too.
It's not a photoreceptor. It's actually a protein in the eye, and they're called cryptochromes.
That's cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Thank you for that, because I was gonna wonder what the fuck that was.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching that. It's just I couldn't retain it because I caught the science. I didn't catch the words. If that makes any goddamn sense.
Yeah, I had to actually look it up to look into it further. That's why I know it's in that spectrum of blue light.
Because I mean, we've talked about this particular bit in classes and seminars for fucking 10 years. But clairvoyance is the one that everybody wants, and I'm kind of like, it's not that awesome. I'd rather have the clairgustance or taste. Or clairsentience, smell.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have those kinds of things than to be able to see in that sense. Now, there are practical applications. For someone like me, or someone like, if you've met him, Mr. Jerry that works here at the shop, or there's a couple other people that we know that are visually impaired. It's really cool to have that clairvoyance. The clairaudience mixed with the clairvoyance allows me to have some semblance of what's going on around me. Am I 100% blind? No. But my vision fluctuates. My eyes shake. I see everything like a kid's finger painting with motion and light. And that's what I get most days. Unless you're right fucking here, or I can hear you. The clairvoyance mixed with the clairaudience allows me to actually perceive the world as it is. It gives structure. So it's really fucking cool because the brain goes, oh, because you can hear it, I'm going to show you what it is. It's really neat. But clairvoyance allows you to see things, literally see, not perceive, see them in a much different light, in a very clear way. And I'm talking HD as well as 360. Because of the context clues that you're able to gather from a situation, you're able to see what is about to happen, which is usually what leads people into mistaking clairvoyance for precognizance. You can't see the fucking future, but you can sure as shit predict it. Next.
So, claircognizance. This is a psychic ability similar to clairvoyance. It means clear knowing. This is claircognizance. This is what Steve and Brian were just talking about actually knowing shit. It is clear knowing, and this allows a person to know something without a logical explanation. Claircognizance don't necessarily see something, but just know it as if it were actually downloaded into their minds. Sometimes the ability manifests as a nagging thought that won't go away. It might come through as a particularly strong gut feeling, leaving no room for doubt in that person's mind, which is why it's clear knowing and different than clairvoyance.
So claircognizance, yeah, this is your actual intuition. So when Brian and I, especially when we're teaching classes, for those of you that have taken our 100 series, especially when we're talking about connectivity, this is what we're fucking talking about. There's not any room for questioning. You fucking know. And if you have to question in order to know, take your time, take a breath, reset, and try again. Your intuition is what allows your body and your mind and your spirit to perceive things instantly that they shouldn't know. It's pretty cool in that particular sense.
Anybody ever been around us when we done like? I mean, I haven't been to one of the events in a long time. But okay, I know what that is.
Linda Donaher said, I think the clear knowing is a very common in gifts.
Actually, it should be. It should be a very common one. Now, is it truly? A lot of people throw their own bias in a little too heavy. Similar to what Brian was just talking about. It's that's what that is. And it's moving on. It's not I have to explain for 20 fucking minutes what it is that I went through to get to this answer. Oh, I know. It's literally this thing. Well, how'd you know? I was told. Now, I've done that to a couple people. I was told. This is what's up, right? How'd you know? Don't worry about that. This is what we're going to do about it. It's that kind of a thing. That's actual intuition. That's what happens when your intuition is actually allowed to do its job. Now, there are people that are out there that are referred to as knowers. These are actual true claircognizants. Now, everybody, for those popping in, we had discussed this at the beginning of the live. Everybody has penchant for some of these, if not all of these clairs at some given point in time. The ones that you need the most are the ones that you have the strongest hold of. A true claircognizant is rare to find. Someone who is referred to as a knower when they actually surrender to the gift, not to a specific situation, not a person, not a perception. When they surrender to the gift itself, those motherfuckers are dangerous in both good and bad ways. Because they literally understand, know without unshaking kinds of fucking faith. They know exactly what a situation is. Are always the people that can plan 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead and already know when to step aside, when their plan isn't going to work. It's the coolest shit to watch and some of the scariest shit to watch. Does this mean that these people have 100% of their lives together? Absolutely fucking not. But it does mean that they're aware of it. So what makes this particular gift really cool is there is a different kind of awareness. So we talked about the spiritual gift. Now we're talking about the physical ESP. There is a specific awareness. It's not spatial awareness, it's true awareness. The ability to actually perceive the world for what it is and how it works. It is the coolest shit to actually see somebody that's like, have you ever actually been around someone who has been able to just hold their hand out and have butterflies land on their fingers? or have wildlife come up to them while they're just sitting there, or have people walk up to them randomly without any kind of prompt. Yeah, did you call for me? No. Do I know you? These kinds of people are actual claircognizants. They're such a part of the world, not just in their mind, but in their very being, to the point to where they're a part of everybody's world around them. They meld into the space, they meld into the flow, they meld into the day to day. And even if they aren't known, they're a complete stranger, they're not a complete stranger. They don't miss a beat, they don't interject, and are usually the people that can walk into a situation completely unknown and change it into something different. They're amazing people when they let their shit rock. Now, here's the downside to that particular one. When a claircognizant refuses their gift, and I'm not talking about, okay, I'm putting that on hold for a minute. I'm talking about a full refusal. When they refuse their gift, they refuse to vibe, they refuse to, use what they have responsibly, everything fucking falls apart immediately. They forget where the fuck they are, how the fuck they should function, and how everybody else is around them. It is a complete breakdown because they are officially isolating and alienating themselves, both spiritually and even physically, in a mundane sense. And it's a hard go. That one's a rough go. Claircognizance is a beautiful gift because trusting the intuition to a point to where you can allow yourself to be led by your divine in such a way that your life will have meaning regardless of what it is that you do. And you don't stress the fact that it has that meaning. It's a beautiful thing, but having that kind of surrender is something that a lot of people just can't give. Me included. So it's really awesome to see it in action. Really cool. Y'all got stuff?
Just a bunch of comments that we can catch up on real quick if you'd like.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, fuck. Same. Same.
100%.
So, catching
Sour
up just
apple?
a little bit.
I got mint.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, happy birthday to the person in the comments that it is their birthday, John Ross. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, dude.
So, something he said was, I needed to know how tall to make the first floor wall so the second floor walls matched up. I asked my grandpa. He showed me the numbers after I smelled his cherry pipe tobacco. I wrote the numbers on my wall. The dimensions added up to 111. Gotta jump. Have a great night.
Nice.
Lots of hey Brian's.
He does exist, y'all.
Woo!
Work. Work.
Yeah.
Well, it was.
I talked to him almost night.
Mama C, Miss Carol said, I have had a clairaudient experience. It was interesting. I knew who it was despite ever meeting this ancestor speaking to me.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike said, that's me. I just know. I might not know how I know, but I do.
100%.
He said, I know a knower.
Mm-hmm.
Terry said, is that why the butterflies and other animals do that to me?
Mm-hmm.
Yipper.
And Mike said 100%. Linda said, I have someone in my life doing that. And then We actually had a YouTube comment, Mr. Hopkins. I've had that happen to me. I eventually had to accept my gifts in order to live my own life.
Mhm.
And Linda said fear stops a lot of people.
It does.
I also dig the fact that you sent that it's military time in our comments. And Linda's comment about fear stopping a lot of people was sent at 22:22.
That's awesome.
55.
55. So that's fucking cool. Just thought I would mention that.
That is pretty cool.
So that's currently, I mean, I think you did a great job being very explanatory with all of the different gifts, especially the different clairs and the fact that they're clear things.
Yeah, because that's what the clear means in front of these things is clear. So it's literally the best of the best. It's the best that you can have. And it's also on the flip, on the spiritual end, it's clear understanding through that perception of a sense. So there's multiples of these that everybody actually expresses. So at any given point, you're going to use more than one of these, but you're going to see that you basically rely on one primary. And that's kind of what we're going to be getting at next week is, how to identify that shit. So, yeah.
And just kind of reiterate again, a lot of the reason that the clairs either won't work or you feel like they may not be working is probably because you're blocking them or not accepting them or getting in your own way in some form or fashion, which I think is a topic for later in the month.
It is actually.
So hopefully this was helpful, guys, and definitely come with your questions next week.
Oh, 100%. This is the fun shit, y'all.
Yeah.
This is the cool shit because now we've gotten all the definitions out of the way. Now we can get into the actual fun shit, the actual learning.
The meat and potatoes. We had soup.
Yeah.
Now we're getting to stew.
Guys, this was an appetizer.
Half price apps.
Shit.
It was good soup.
Good soup.
It was good soup.
I need some soup.
Same. I need some soup. But
I think one of the big things, I wanted to say something real quick. People talk about a lot with fear, and I think some of it too is not understanding, and that breeding the fear. The fear is the end result as opposed to the actual cause. Because a lot of the times people don't realize that's what they're doing.
100%.
Now that's not to differentiate, because I wanted to differentiate real quick on people who have psychosis when it comes to like schizophrenia and things like that, and they're seeing things, hearing things, experiencing things.
Of course.
There's no context, period, when it comes to psychoses.
It's just there.
It's just there. It's a thing that's talking to you about a thing, or a thing that you see. There's a person in the corner. There's no context. There's no explanation. There's no reason. And other than, brain chemistry. But with the gifts or clairs, there's stuff that's going on around that brings the context.
Right. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about getting context clues as to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
The clair itself is not prompted.
Mm-hmm.
The clair itself isn't prompted. You're given the context clues during the activation of your clair so that you understand, I'm seeing this for this reason. I'm hearing this for this reason. It's not, because one of the big things is making sure that people know that they shouldn't be led into having a quote unquote clair experience.
Mm-hmm.
Someone shouldn't have to tell you to activate your shit.
Yep.
Or ask you if you perceive it the way that they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally leading someone's experience and having them take the focus off of their clairs in order to see if they can perceive it through someone else's.
If anybody's ever taken the class, we always say this. I'm projecting an energy. What do you get? What do you get? What do you get? What do you get? We go down the line between everybody. Never, 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 not once do we ever say your feeling is wrong.
Nope.
Matter of fact, one of the things that's explicitly said repeatedly is, we're not going to lead you. Your experience is your own.
There's no such thing as a right or wrong answer when it comes to this particular thing. Your answer is the one we're going with.
Cool. We can focus there. Awesome. Now we're going to move on.
Pretty much.
It's about learning how to, that we're probably going to go into a little bit further detail down the road. But once you understand that's what you're doing, the fear starts to melt away. Of course, there's always going to be that piece there that's going to be like, am I bullshit? If you don't, worry. If you don't have that little nagging thought of, is this bullshit? Worry about it.
There should always be humility, regardless of what kind of gift you have and how long you've used it and how well you think you've trained it. You should always have some humility because there is such thing as human error.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to eventually run your mouth about the shit and it is going to be wrong and horrendously so.
That's why we keep saying it's clues, context clues. You may be interpreting them wrong. It may be absolutely fucking right, but you're interpreting it wrong and it makes it wrong. Is that a thing to quit? No. Oh, okay. I made a mistake. Cool.
Okay.
What can I do differently?
Right. Now I know for next time. So when I see this, experience this, do this thing.
She hit the right click.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
When I do all these things, it's going to lead me to this situation. So I need to either prevent that or continue to do that. So all of this is a learning experience.
Trial and error. Experimentation.
If you roll into it with an open mind and you allow yourself to freely experience the situation through the clairs that you know about and through the ones that you might not know about, you're always going to have an awesome time. And the big thing is always question, okay, why did I feel that? Or why did I see that? Why did I smell, taste, whatever? Why? Okay. Why does that make sense? Why does this not? And then if you can't make sense of it, ask the motherfuckers around you. That's the reason why we do house cleansings. We do classes. We do investigations. We do seminars. We do all this stuff in a buddy system is because if one of us doesn't know, the other one probably does.
And if they both don't, okay, we'll just write it off.
Neither one of us gets it and we're the only ones here. So, okay, for right now, we're going to say this and that's all we can give. Or, okay, so-and-so is close enough. Let's get a third party in. It's okay to ask questions and it's okay to get a second opinion. Because more than likely, especially if that other person is there and especially if you do it the right way. Well, you felt that too, right? Well, you noticed this too, right? Is not the right way. But rolling up to somebody and being like, okay, I know you went to the same haunted location. What is it that you got there? So we're not leading with what it is that you found. You're asking them what they went through.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, so this is what I went through. Here's the things that are parallels. Here's the things that are different. So why were they different? Okay, well, these things could be because we have different clairs. These things could be because one of us is perceiving something either off, wrong, or differently. So how do we make this make sense? That's what makes this shit fun. That's what makes this shit viable too, it makes sure that you understand you're not bullshit. The people around you understand you're not bullshit. And the evidence that you might get or the experience that you may have had is validated in a healthy and correct way.
It's like the difference between reading a book, say let's just say for this example, that's clairvoyance, right? Well, somebody might get it more from an audiobook.
Mhm.
It's the same fucking book. But you're going to get two different perspectives. You're going to experience the content in two different ways. And it's two different people.
Yeah.
Who are going to get two different, say it's an education book, two different lessons from the same book.
Which one's the movie?
That can be
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
We'll leave it. How do you know you're autistic without saying you're autistic? So
Well, if you see the movie in your head as you read the book.
well, usually the movie leaves out a bunch of information.
That's why I was.
and truthfully, it's through a third party's eyes. So technically, you're being led into an experience. So that would be your bullshit encounter. Read the book instead. So if you read the book first, then the movie's going to make better sense. Because usually the movie is someone else's interpretation of what they read of someone else's writing.
And they leave a lot of things out every time.
Mm-hmm.
What's not hard? Well, going.
It's like those who are Aragon fans. The movie is dog shit.
It's awful.
The
It's
movie is
heinous.
terrible.
The book is so much better.
Horrific.
So this is going to get me in trouble, but fuck it. You know, if y'all didn't know us by now, Lord, you're about to. It's basically the difference between going and allowing your clairs to do what it is that they do in a natural space, in a natural investigation with other people, and watching fucking Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters or Ghost Asylum or enter Ghost / this and expecting to get a real experience instead of entertainment.
Oof.
I'm having relationship issues. Maybe I should ask my guides and maintain a clear and positive, thought process or something like that using my gifts. Going and seeing the movie is like going to a psychic.
It sure is, actually. Oh my God. I would like you to tell me exactly what it is that this book / movie is about.
Oh God.
Because I would trust your opinion
More than my own.
more than my own. Because I know you've seen it before. You've seen it before me.
You think this is a good bit?
So,
You think this is a good fit?
I'm just gonna read it. Oh God.
You shouldn't quit him.
Should I break up with him? Oh my God.
Oh my God. Y'all did relationship stuff last month. That's why I wasn't here. I'm not the authority to give relationship advice with my track record. I was like, damn, I'm just going to stay home.
Damn. Oh,
I was
Oh
all
my
prepped
God.
and like bracing because I thought you were gonna talk shit about the Harry Potter movies for a minute. So I was like full braced over here, like I'm gonna get in trouble. No, fucking Ghost Adventures.
nobody respects Reagans.
I mean, if we want to go down that road,
I mean, the motherfucker has been
Fifth movie.
trounced on every social media known to man, is basically banned from every fucking place he's ever been to, and is nothing but literally a self-absorbed actor. I don't care anymore.
A former Las Vegas DJ.
Literally.
Oh, oof.
He should have quit his night
who
job.
was on Wheel of Fortune?
But,
I don't know. He's made a lot of money.
he's made a stupid amount of money
That's like
off of exploitation. But
it's like
you know,
going on to TikTok and trying to get financial advice.
That is
So, overall for the night, y'all, do your fucking research. And,
as everybody goes into an ADHD rant about the shit that's currently pissing them off about the populace. So
No. It's context. It's quantitative.
yes,
It's context quantitative.
it's context quantitative. Oh my god, I know this is gonna become a fucking reel. So
You're
y'all
welcome.
stay tuned for that shit. But all
I'll do
jokes aside, and in all honesty, most of this, except for my shit talk of Zach Bagans, was absolutely a joke. The big thing here is that I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I just don't. I have no respect for the man. Anyway,
Claire's
so
poet.
so the big thing here is, all jokes aside, and we have made some, we're trying to make it fun. We're trying to make it lighthearted. This is a lot of information and it's a lot of stuff to go over. So it's good to have a giggle, break it up, act like a fucking moron, that kind of thing, to end with the upbeat note. But hopefully this actually helps some of you out, help give a little bit of an idea of what it is that you could have going on, a definition behind it, not necessarily a label, because these aren't labels. These aren't skill sets. These are natural, God-given talents. These are things that you're born with. These are things that you come into through certain trainings. So they're acquired skills, different things like that. This gives you some perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to get into, how to actually identify what you have.
It's going to be a good month, y'all. This one's actually been highly requested.
Really has. And now we have the means of actually providing it for you. So we're going to give it our best. I'll be doing the forecast for y'all tomorrow. God love you guys. And God love you for putting up with me, because tomorrow I'm talking about Venus. Gun to my head. So, all that being said, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember that those that have the power to change themselves have the power to change the world around themselves. Love you guys.
Love ya. Hearts.
Love y'all. Nice joke.
Right.
We're still not clear.
No, we're not. You're welcome. Good night, everybody.